should be joining us anytime from now. My name is Sage Babalola. Don't forget to join our social media platforms so that you can also participate in all the things that we're doing on here via social media, especially on Facebook and on YouTube. We stream all our programs there. And if you are not able to listen to the program in real time, one thing that we've been able to do is the programs are uploaded on our social media platform, so you can go watch it anytime you have an opportunity to do so, and even comment or react to someone else's comment on the platform. Well, we have Fuad Said on board now. Let's hear our hellos and start looking at the report for the morning. Fuad Said, good morning. Merry Christmas in advance. How are you?
Yep. Merry Christmas in advance to you. She said, I'm good. Good morning.
I hope you had a wonderful.
Yes, I did.
Well, Fuad, so what's the plan now for tomorrow?
The plan is for you. All plans.
Fuad, I don't like all this one word response that I gave this morning. I don't.
All plans till the 26th, Boxing Day. We unbox all the gifts and
no.
do a very big party.
Never. These are two different days. Two very different days. Yes. There's Christmas, there's Boxing Day, there's the party. Yes. So each day there should be some, something on each day. It's better you don't come to work tomorrow, even though that you're not going to bring anything. Just don't come.
We start the celebration from tomorrow.
I don't believe you. You're acting like a member of the House of Reps. I don't believe you.
So what else do you want to hear from me? But obviously we're going to have a good time on the 26th. Let's find some time to unwind and enjoy ourselves, eat good food, listen to good music, and then just make ourselves happy.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, let's look at the papers. We have quite a lot to talk about this morning. We would open with the Punch newspaper. Top story here, budget crisis. National Assembly extends 2025 fiscal year to March. The report in the Punch tells us in a major fiscal reset aimed at addressing revenue shortfall, weak capital execution, and overlapping budget cycles, the National Assembly on Tuesday approved a revised 43.5 trillion naira 2024 Appropriation Act and reworked 48.3 trillion 2025 budget framework, with the 2025 fiscal year extended to March 31st, 2026. So I would like to give us an insight into what exactly was adjusted. Presenting the report, Adeola explained at the Senate that the 2024 Appropriation Act was repealed from the original 35.005 trillion and reenacted with an aggregate expenditure of 43.561 trillion, with details covering statutory transfers, debt servicing, recurrent and capital expenditure fully captured in the committee's report. Now, as for the 2025 fiscal year, the earlier 54.99 trillion Appropriation Act was repealed and replaced with a revised total expenditure of 48.316 trillion, noting that part of the capital expenditure was rolled over into the 2026 fiscal year due to funding constraints highlighted during the presidential budget performance. So, Fuad Said, we had been asking questions about this whole consolidation of the budget. So this is what had happened. The 2024 budget, they had to rework it and add a little bit of money to it.
8 trillion, I think about 8 trillion
to it. For 2025, they took out some because they have rolled it over into the 2026 budget. So the 2025 budget, that's why the figure is a little bit less.
Reduce it.
Yes, because they've moved some of those projects into, especially the capital component, into the 2026 budget. So there are concerns now. Mind you, the 2025 fiscal year will not end in March next year of 2026. That's the extension. So at the moment, we're going to be funding 2024, the reworked one, 2025, the reduced one, and then the 58 trillion for 2026.
The renewed one.
Yes, the renewed one for 2026, which would, by this logic, now start March right after the 2025 budget is exhausted. Fuad.
Okay, so we have 3 budgets running, concurrently as we speak. So again, we have the 2024 budget, the reworked one. We have the 2025 budget, the reduced one. Yeah. And then it permits me to say the 2026 budget that will be running, which I like to call the renewed one. Well, let's hope that these adjustments, reenactments, the workings that we're seeing will help us have a more stable, a more realistic, apportation framework. Where we can go back to the days where the budget cycle runs from January to December, where you have a clear 12-month, financial framework when it comes to budgeting in Nigeria. So, let's hope that these things are being done with good intention. Because again, it's an aberration, if you ask me, to have 2, 3, 4, 5 budgets running into one another. So one would expect that maybe this will work. Again, that the 2024 budget is still running, is problematic, if you ask me. And then we're also having situations where what has been projected for 2025, a larger part of it, or some sizable part of that budget, has now been moved to 2026. Because again, there were revenue shortfalls there and there, which had affected the funding of the capital expenditure component majorly. Remember that it has been announced that about 70% of the capital expenditure components of the 2025 budget should be moved into 2026. So what it means is that for some of us that might see some of those things appear again in 2026 budget, we probably should just know that, look, it's not as if we're having double inputs. It means that they've been moved into 2026. So again, it's just what it is. We're in a situation where, despite the huge borrowing, despite what was projected to be very big revenue for 2025, all of that has not happened. For example, we are being told that about 30 trillion was not realized in 2025. So what it means is that majorly we funded the 2025 budget with borrowing stage. Because yes, the conclusion is that, look, a larger part of that budget was funded through borrowing. So what were the areas of revenue that suffered this shortfall? Because if the president, for example, said, what happened? Who dropped the ball somewhere? All of the projections, why did it fall flat? So, but again, we'll continue to ask these questions and hope that again we get a bit more realistic with our projections. We get a bit more disciplined budget that again begins to bring some hope back to Nigeria.
Well, we're still looking at the Punch newspaper. The report here, Tuesday broke his silence on his rift with Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, disclosing that their fallout stemmed from Wike's alleged declaration to hold down the People's Democratic Party for President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2020. Nyocha Ayu as national chairman ahead of the 2023 general election. Now, speaking during a media chat in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, Makinde said the relationship collapsed after Wike made what he described as a shocking declaration during a meeting with President Tinubu, which he said the president neither requested nor endorsed. So for outside, again, because of our time, here's the situation. Seyi Makinde says that he was in a meeting with the president. Wike happened to be on sit on that particular day. And as the conversation progressed, for some reason, Wike decided to take on the endeavor or the commitment of holding down the PDP for the president. Seyi Makinde, according to this media chat or what has been, it just came out of nowhere. And Seyi Makinde is telling us the experience that at some point he pulled him to the veranda and was like, Wike, when did we make this arrangement? When did we say we were going to come and declare to hold the party down for the president? And he says that that particular scenario is how the seed of discord became planted between himself and Nyesom Wike, among all the other back and forth that has happened. But as expected, Wike's media aide, Olayinka, has responded. He says, Seyi Makinde to SDP, to PDP, and that he's no better than all of the people that he thinks are badly behaved within the political landscape. What?
Okay, let's start this way. I like, you always have the smallest one that's, So let me first quickly just talk about Olayinka. And I'll ask you a very simple question. I'm sure you've seen, the interview by Governor Seyi Makinde. Now, and he made a lot of allegations, He says he was able to expose a lot of things. Olayinka has put out now. It's reasonable.
They have this habit of speaking to the personality rather than the matters raised. I don't know if it's like it.
That Seyi Makinde has been jumping from one party to another party. How does that respect One of the things said,
Baba said I saw the down party. He says, what is correlation?
So can we just conclude that he had nothing to say really? He just needed to say something. And from everything he has said, he has not said it. He draws salaries, he draws allowances, and he must just do something. I mean, to show his master that but to us, I'm putting it on the scale of just being commonsensical with what he has said. He has not said anything really. I must say that was a big interview. I think he prepared well for that interview. I think he was very intentional about things he decided to say, the things he said in that media panic. Again, it's almost looking at what Wike, is used to doing. We've always seen Wike doing these kinds of things. United supporting the president in 2023. I think that is reported. That's the way the Vanguard newspaper captured, a part of that interview. That look, he had thought the president was going to come in to do the right thing for Nigeria. I think at some point he even said that he was hoping that the president was going to form a government of national unity. What he was expecting in that area, I don't understand. But I think he's a man who had gone into an alliance. He had gone into a collaboration to work against the interest of the party. Because you remember, Sage, I've always asked you this question. When Jᴏɪ S쏘ዄ was forming that alliance, with what you call a full disclosure, a full agreement as to what will become, the end of that G5. Like, what are we going to achieve with this? What is the end game? To what end are we doing this? So if I call you up today to say, look, I want you to form an alliance with me, want to do something, want to achieve something, I'm sure you are going to ask me some very pertinent questions as to where would all of this end, right? Mm-hmm. Did they at some point, or was there any point where he asked Wike, where are we going with this G5? What is governor? I'm a one-term governor seeking a second term. What then do we intend to achieve? What is the need for you, Wike, from the G5? So that's what he has said. He regretted ever supporting the president. So I would assume that what he was trying to say was that he also regretted ever joining the G5. So it is good that at least he has said that, look, people make mistakes. That must have been a political mistake on his part. Now, he also talked about it in 2027. In fact, he said it was not even the president that asked Wike to do it. Right. It was Wike offering the president that duty of holding the PDP down. He also said something about the fact that, look, there was a time organized on your state for 2027, Mr. President, you should help me to do it out of a different 27. He also talked about the fact that, look, Wike should know that he has always been a big boy. And that is again telling Wike that, look, he's not ready to go into the 괅ᴜᴜ fight with him. Because for him to have said that, you know what, I made my first $1 million at the age of, I think, 29, when I got a contract from Mobil. And he also showed something to show the contract, as evidence. And after law school, and I think that's a fact too, there's nowhere anywhere would have said Wike ran any business. He went into politics straight as a chairman of a local government. Going into 2027, we are going to get more of these kinds of interviews. It is not left for people to begin to have their own interpretation. The first thing is to say, do you believe all the things Jᴏɪ S쏘ʲᴜ said? Would they have had the guts to lie against the president and his longtime friend, Mr. Wike? If you believe what he has said, so can we then just conclude that all of the problems we have in the opposition ruling party were all deliberately created by the president, Wike, and major opposition political parties in Nigeria are in one form of crisis? I don't want to see Mr. Jᴏɪ S쏘ʲᴜ as a bold man, because what he has done with that interview is to say, look, I'm ready to go into this battle. He has said it that, look, as far as he's concerned, he doesn't want a one-party state. The question is, does he have the capacity? I'm sure they're going to be throwing a lot at him now. He should be ready for a lot of dirty politicking in Oyo State. Time will tell. But from that interview, we can all pick whatever we want to pick. See. But I'm saying that, look, there are a lot of concerns for me. As far as that, look, all of these things about the opposition, they are not just able to organize themselves. has come to the fore to show that look, it is the president who is setting up these people to continue to destabilize the ruling party. The president who has not even hidden his desire for more people to join the APC. You know, he said, go and sweep them clean, sweep them clean. Have he? He said it.
Yes.
So we now know, we'll be waiting for Wike to you see him on one of the night political interviews with Seyi Okinbaloye, where he's going to probably give his own response. But we've gotten that of Seyi Makinde. Let's wait for the response of Wike, and then we can begin to have more conversation on it.
So we should go
and interesting times ahead.
We should go and
more we still claim.
All right.
He's always been, you know, because again, you know, I don't know where he left his own media or PR job, you know, but because if you look at his response to what Seyi Makinde said, how did he address it?
Well, he'll be fine, I'm sure. I'm sure he's some weak setting policies before he...
Friday, something will happen. The man will do, he'll go.
I look forward to it. I love watching his interviews. They're hilarious. We're still live on Facebook. Front covers disclosed that Nigerian security agencies are and raise fund. Said platforms such as TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and X have been used by these terrorists to publish terrorist group. If you knew how many accounts we have taken down, we have had several meetings with these social media platforms. They are businesses looking to grow their. Remember that time where everyone was asked to link their NIN to their phone number? Some people's numbers got deactivated. It was a problem, especially for Nigerians, and they told us that the reason we're doing this is so that we can track these criminals. It's easier to track, so when they call for ransom, we can track the number because it's linked amongst other things. And now on TikTok, because the way TikTok works, you can gift a person and then they can convert it to money. There are people who are gifting them on TikTok who are displaying their loot, and the federal government thinks that as young people, when you're on social in your own head, and they have to block these social.
I think from this now we can now confirm that look, those social media accounts are actually, if you are a social media influencer or user, you have a situation where these bandits are displaying their ransom monies, looted funds, you know, on social media. In fact, they say sometimes they even do TikTok live and do a manner of things.
Yes, and they answer questions. People will send questions, and they would answer. You can even share the screen where people talk to them. They answer questions. People gift them on social media, like give them stuff that can be converted into money.
And so we have jamming questions, pertinent questions about what is really going on with these guys. That is it that, you know, because again, you know, recently the piece of information was now saying that, anybody that carries weapons that kidnap Nigerians will not be categorized as a terrorist. And the question is, so how did you categorize them before? A football player, the government has now decided that anybody that carries weapons or decides to kidnap Nigerians, whether our children from school or wherever, will now be categorized as terrorists. So the question that came to my mind, if I was in that media panel, Honorable Minister, so what was the categorization before?
Within the military, nomenclature is very important. If you're calling people bandits, the method of engagement is different. If a person if a group, for example, has been proscribed as a terrorist group, the method of engagement is different. The hierarchy, those who are in charge of that particular security experts would understand the point I'm trying to make.
So that's what I'm saying, that we are taught that for a long time ago, these guys have been categorized as terrorists. That the reason why we are not even going after them all out is that we have not really categorized them. Boldness to come on social media, do Facebook Live, do TikTok Live, answer questions, display their ransom. So if they can do that on social media, it means that the governor of Zamfara State, Governor Dauda Lawal, is correct. That they know the locations of these guys. You know, he said it. Yeah. You can all see that, look, since Trump issued his threat, you've seen that, look, there's been some level of improvement. So before that attack happened at the Kebbi school, who gave that order? It's a personal question that we're supposed to ask ourselves. Who gave that order? That you want to deactivate their social media account. Nigerians want you to kill them all. That's what Nigerians are looking.
Well, that is the situation. And again, it scares me, the brazenness with which these groups are now acting. It used to be a hidden thing. You don't recognize people, you don't their faces. They were wearing masks. We don't know who was behind the camera. But now they open their faces, they talk to people, they know who they are. They really understand this renewed brazenness, this chutzpah with which they operate is a very scary thing to think about for outside, honestly.
Scary and disturbing.
Disturbing indeed. We're still looking at the Punch newspaper. Today have raised serious concerns over alleged post-legislative alterations in the recently enacted Tax Reform Act, calling for surrounding the law, threatening the integrity, transparency, and credibility of Nigeria's legislative process. He's warning that the issue strikes at the heart of complications of post-legislative alterations to the notation of this new tax law, at least until you're able to provide some sort of clarity on the issues that have been raised, or at least I don't think that they are very much inclined to heed this call for what?
Well, Nigerians will continue to believe that the right thing is done. You know, we'll never want to talk about accountability. Members of the Senate and the House of Reps, the National Assembly, the people who elected them decided on the new tax law, saw it, agreed to it. There was an harmonized version. The House of Reps passed their own, the Senate did their own, and then it was now transmitted to the President, and he attested to it. Sage. Now for it to finally become law, do a comprehensive review of the gazetted copy of the law and the one there were alterations. A number of media outlets have done a thorough job to also do this investigation, and have also been able to highlight these alterations. As we speak, the House of Reps have formed a committee to investigate what happened. If it is true the accident is different from the one that has been gazetted. So, in between when the harmonized version of National Assembly was taken to the President for assent, for it to be now be gazetted, be reluctant to allow this investigation to happen, concluded before implementation starts. And that's why for people like Mr. Ojedele, I don't even understand what he's saying. That has just been approved by the National Assembly, assented to by the President.
For the connect with you, apologize for that disruption. Please do well to check us out on social media. We're still streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. The conversation is continuing here. We're talking position. If there's so many controversy regarding this law, if there are many questions to be answered, why not suspend the implementation? At least they seem adamant in the implementation of this law in January. Must it be implemented in January? What is a little bit of patience just to give
again say the fact, you know, the thing is that look, what does it even take to check whether there are alterations or not to this document, or not? Like Serap has done. I like to allow myself in the position of Serap. For us to know whether there are alterations or not, say, what are we supposed to do? The one that was passed and harmonized by the National Assembly, that copy, the one that was assented to, certified true copy of that bill that you assented to. I am sure the National Assembly with the gazetted copy. Say, should that take us more than 2 days? Exactly.
You know what you're debating. You're not debating the entire thing. And
so even this idea of forming a committee seeming so vague that, oh, they are not saying the alterations, they have not said where exactly they are talking about, that have been made. So this should not take us no problem. But can we quickly address this issue of whether that document was altered or not? On the basis of account.
Outside, again, all we can do is sit, watch, and see their response to this particular improvement in crude oil production. The federal government earned 63.49% less than its projected oil revenue target in the first half of 2025, according to the second quarter budget performance report released by the Budget Office on Monday. The report showed that gross oil revenue of 9.32 trillion was recorded between January and June, far below the 25.52 prorated budget projection for that period. This translated into a 16.20 shortfall. Projections went to hell, and forgive me for the informality of choice of words. It went to hell because non-oil revenue that Naira shortfall. So what exactly, what parts of this
now so that we situate it? Where is this report coming from? Say
what? They're not necessarily giving us where this report is from.
Is this just a news analysis
report?
Report, okay.
By the budget.
But people are going to come of what amount?
16.2 trillion.
Of what amount?
30 trillion.
30 trillion.
Yeah.
So the oil revenue shortfall was 16 point something trillion.
Yeah.
Now, take these two statements now to what the president told us in September. What? Non-oil revenue. Revenue, so we met our revenue because it was fine with what the president had told us in September. Oh, some people say, you people, media, you don't inquire from the oil sector. Oil revenue shortfall was 16.something trillion. So the remaining balance that will make it 30 trillion. Where did that come from?
So, Fuatide, I don't know if this would have...
We know, what we are just saying is that, look, from this report now, how does it in any way align with what the president told us in September? Are we going to say the president was lying to Nigeria?
No, we cannot say that.
And so what happened? What was this that he was telling us in September?
Fuatide, we actually have to go. Maybe Uncle Bayo will come and explain to us later.
That one will confuse you the more. If I instead of explaining, he will come here and insult everybody. So don't even bother.
We really have to go. Marking opposition, weak factors say authoritarian drift threatens 2027 poll. Also, INEC is refusing to accept the Turaki-led National Working Committee of the PDP, by the way, himself to make the mistake that Buhari made by keeping underperformers in his cabinet.
This woman will not allow Buhari to. I've never seen this kind of thing before.
But we have to go. We have commercials lined up. We'll be back in another 10 minutes for further discourse. Sage Babalola, stick around. Mainland 98.3 FM.
Are you planning to hop on a plane to visit family and friends anytime soon? Maybe you're heading to a celebration or meeting or a new member of the family. It's always such a special time to reunite with loved ones. But what can make the whole experience even more special is when the journey is memorable too, right? That's where Emirates comes in. I'm guessing you will want to arrive refreshed and ready to share stories and catch up on bedtime. So, all you need to do is simply sit back and relax in total comfort on the way. You'll be spoilt for choice when it comes to entertainment with up to 6,500 channels. Yes, 6,500 channels. You heard me right. If you missed the latest Hollywood release, catch it on board on some of the biggest screens in the skies. It will feel just like you are the movies. You'll be spoilt for choice when it comes to entertainment with up to 6,500 channels. Yes, you heard me right. 6,500 channels. If you missed the latest Hollywood release, catch it on board on some of the biggest screens in the skies. It will feel just like you are the movies. Or enjoy some uninterrupted time to binge watch your favorite comedy series. You can even scroll through your socials and make plans for when you arrive. Perhaps your team is playing while you are in the air. Don't worry, it will probably be on ice. And if you're traveling with little ones, they definitely won't be bored on board. They get their own dedicated TV and movie channels, over 250 of them, and they will enjoy take-home toys and goodies to feed your imaginations. That's not all. They can even enjoy their own special meals, perfectly designed for little taste buds. And while they tuck into their tasty meals, you'll be dining on multiple courses of regionally inspired gourmet cuisine, all served with free-flowing drinks. I won't tell anyone if you want to start on dessert first. And if you're planning to pack in some thoughtful gift to pass on when you arrive, the generous Emirates baggage allowance makes that a breeze. You get so much more in Emirates economy. You can fly Emirates from Lagos to over 150 destinations, including Dubai, India, the UK, and the US. Head over to Emirates.com to book now and start your amazing journey.
Yeah, good day, everyone. I always have to know the pay anybody. The SSI, MNI, FDF, SWS, DSW, HIV. Okay, HIV, that one no polo. So no worry, whatever. Yoruba sokwe kukore tinje apa, idi apolewa. What I'm here to tell you is I'm just happy because we are alive. Happy Christmas in advance and Happy New Year. Compliments of the season to everybody. For mainland FM here, I greet all of you. I know you have your life.
Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Anytime we hear that song like this, say like this, the weather don't change. Preparation all begin to they gather everywhere. Light goes a full street and area. Children don't begin to they prepare their mind. And I say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. My name now Victor Achibong. Of course, like you take note, I mean they host a lot of shows right here saying make you just try. Make sure say this season you show love to somebody and somebody to go show love to you. Merry Christmas.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí bíbélì ti wí látinú ìwé lúùkù orí kejì ẹsẹ̀ 10 sí 11 ó wí pé áńgẹ́lì náà sì wí fún ọ wípé má ṣe bẹ̀rù mo mú ìrere ayọ̀ ńlá wá fún ọ tí yóò jẹ́ ti gbogbo ènìyàn nítorí a ti bí olùgbàlà fún yín lónìí ní ìlú dáfídì tí ṣe kristi olúwa. Fatima Òtúnsànyà lórúkọ mi boss lady orí rédíò làwọn olólùfẹ́ tèmi ń pè mí. mo ń lo àkókò yìí láti kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa níléeṣẹ́ rédíò mainland 98.3 FM wípé a kú ọdún kérésìmesì a kú ọdún o a kú ìyèdún lágbára ọlọ́wọ́n ọba ọ̀pọ̀ rẹ̀ láṣẹ láyé lórúkọ jésù kristi àmín.
Whether you're flying for a family celebration or a much-needed reunion, fly Emirates and start your holiday on board. Explore up to 6,500 channels of